the most important thing from scenario training is to instill confidence in the student. It will literally make or break somebody. If somebody doesn't know what they're doing, or there's ego involved in the person wearing the suit and they're not responding effectively to the strikes they're receiving and delivering their own strikes, then the student getting beat up is not going to learn anything. You're never going to see him again, and he's going to feel that he was useless. You must install the skill set that they've learned in a sterile environment, on pads and with partner crossover, within a simulation that's similar to the event, where there's dialogue, role play and environmental conditions that are similar. So a simulation is useful first, because you all know what's going to happen. I'll say to the student, okay, he's going to shove you, punch you. When he does, do what you know. Cover, then crash in and deal with him, put him on the floor and make your way to the exit. He will do that 2 or 3 times until he gets it right. And when he's got it right, he will still feel stressed during the moment, but exhilarated that he could actually do it. Once you have that connection, you can start pushing the envelope and making the student respond to much more spontaneous assault, much less telegraphic, and even throw certain problems. So as an example, I might put an advanced student in the restroom as one of the 15 people, say, right, 1 or 2 guys is going to come in, give you a problem, deal with him, get out. He's expecting that scenario. When he fights his way out of that scenario, it's quite often easy to drop back into condition white, because you are now switched off and you think it's over. It's at that point that I'd have a second subject attack him on his way out to the exit, which means he's getting another elicitation of adrenaline. He now have to respond and fight again. And I'd make this completely spontaneous. I might do it 2 or 3 times to some of my instructors. If he deals with that well, you know, he's going to be midbrain, he's going to be elicited with an emotional response. He's going to know that under non-compliant conditions, unannounced assault, that what comes out is what official. And what you usually see come out is the basics. Plenty of basic gross motor strikes, continuous attack, forward pressure. The principles of combatives will come out if they're trained in under such conditions. If you're put under such conditions, then you know that what you do is reliable. You've got a shot under pressure. If it's somebody who is done this repeated amount of times, they often ask themselves if they had an adrenaline response. Now, scenario training can never be the same as the real event. But if there's a chance you'll get knocked out, if there's a chance that you're going to lose face because there's peer pressure and all your students and all your instructors and everyone else is watching you, then there will be the emotional response of adrenaline that you'll have to handle. If the attack is non-compliant and the person is really striving to knock you out or hit you or take you down or control you, and you fight your way out and it finishes with him or them down and you at the exit, then you know what you do is working efficiently. Quite often I'll give my instructors 2 or 3 of these experiences, and then during the debrief they'll get ambushed again just to see what kind of response. So it has a low margin right up to an escalated margin for it pushing everybody's envelope. Scenario training is definitely the way forward, but it has to be done efficiently. So again, to recap, you need role players, you need script, you need to make sure that everybody is fit and safe to take part. Possibility of adding an additional legal waiver, so everybody's on the same page and everybody agrees that that you're taking part in this under your own merit. Safety of your environment, padding certain areas that are simulated, such as a bar, a stairwell, maybe a vehicle, maybe a restroom, maybe an ATM, maybe a lift. Simulated areas where most things are likely to happen that are still safe to be in. And then safety in terms of kit, like we've talked about. If you use simulation and scenario training this way, which you should, this should make up no more than 10% of your overall curriculum. The basic foundation to everything is the basics. Understanding soft skills, personal security measures, drilling the hard skill strikes so you can effectively hit hard, accurately, on target, repeatedly. Working conditioning, so you'll work your attributes, economy of movement, explosiveness, etc., etc. Honing the basics and using simulation and scenario training on video to see how well you know the basics. Quite often when you watch many of my instructors take part in simulation and scenarios, could illustrate a textbook with their skill set. Although it looks messy and very scruffy, as most real situations do, there's a beauty inside of that scruffiness. What you can see is that they've honed the basics. There's no failure, there's only feedback. So again, the whole objective is that you install an experience inside the student, debrief them, refine the details, and give them a repeated experience of that so they walk out with confidence knowing that what they're learning would work for them. Use scenario and simulation training as a way to test the basics. If you find fault or something that you could have done better, come out, go back to the basics, hone them again, and then go back into scenario simulation training. So your formula for training or teaching should be 80% basic gross motor hard skills working for impact, 10% partner crossover, and then 10% in simulation scenario training under stress conditions. Additional ways that you can add stress is to add natural stress elements such as fatigue. So you could pre-fatigue the subject first by making them do sprints, push-ups, squat thrust, burpees, etc. Fatigue is a good stressor. Disorientation, making them pinch their nose, close their eyes and spin them so they're dizzy, then make them fight. You can add the addition of pain, certain methods of putting somebody into a pained experience, making them access state and hit pads so that they can learn to control and manage pain. Peer pressure. If you put one student out in your classroom, put him into scenario or simulation in front of all the rest of the students sitting around in a circle, he will have peer pressure. He will have adrenal response because he will feel under the eye. He has to perform well. So there's various ways in which you can add stress.
What the fuck you looking at, huh? What the fuck you looking at? What do you fucking want, huh? What the fuck do you want? What the fuck do you want? Stay there, cunt! Give me your money! Give me your money, man! Come on! Just chill out, man. I ain't got no. Get the fuck out! What I want to do is leave. Get the fuck out! Shut up, bro! Get the fuck out! Right, shut up, please! Get the fuck out! David, whoa! Get the fuck out! Get the fuck out! You let me get the fuck out! Girlfriend, motherfucker? It was fucking bullshit. Fucker.
Excellent.
Oh, fucking hell, you are. Hang on,
What are you doing in my
taxi with me?
I'm not in the fucking taxi.
Oh, you're in the taxi with me?
You're in the fucking taxi with me. I said you're in the taxi.
Arms, man.
What fucking you're in the
Everyone says it, you're like, oh yeah. You saw him walking down the street, you wouldn't introduce your fucking kids to it. What the fuck? There you go, what's up? Good for you? Oh man, good. That's one big man. Oh, come. What's up, man?
Watch it.
Come on,